It's business tip time. Whether it's marketing, sales, operations, etc., I'm bringing you quick tips across a variety of topics to help elevate your business. Let's get it. Hello, friends. Today I am back with Dr. Melissa Henault. We did a great interview that dropped yesterday. So if you didn't listen to that yet, make sure to go back and do that. She is a fellow corporate dropout, founder of Burnout to All Out, which teaches the very highly successful LinkedIn Method Academy. And today she is going to give us her top tips on growing your business on LinkedIn. Melissa, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Something I'm really passionate about. So thanks for having me.
Of course. So yeah, tell us, what are the top tips? Why LinkedIn? Tell us everything.
Yeah. So, LinkedIn, let's just preface it by saying LinkedIn is an absolute wide open blue ocean for social sellers. I use the word social seller very broadly because it doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's a goods, service, product, business. If you're not selling online, you're obsolete, right? And so really everyone who's probably listening to your podcast is a social seller. In some ways, shape or fashion, right? And LinkedIn is the most underrated social media platform of them all. As a matter of fact, it's the third year in a row it's been recognized by media users as the most trusted social media platform. But what I would love to do is really talk about why it's the wide open blue ocean. And then maybe how you can truly execute on the platform and get, some quick wins. So first of all, let me just tell you that, let me ask you this, Alacy, have you read the book, The Blue Ocean?
I have not.
Okay.
Do I need to add that to my reading list?
I think so, especially with marketing and like what you're doing in your business. I think it would be really, really beneficial. The book, The Blue Ocean, actually, it's the book my business coach had me read before I created my LinkedIn coaching. And it's basically about creating a new market. Okay. I was looking at other LinkedIn coaches and I was trying to figure out how to actually launch my own LinkedIn business. And she said, quit looking at them. You know what's worked for you and it doesn't exist out there in a course. And you need to build it yourself. You need to create your own market. Go read this book. So I read the book. And the book basically talks about a red ocean is a shark-infested, blood-feeding frenzy where people are trying to fight to one up and stand out, right? Versus a wide open blue ocean in marketing is where you've actually created an entirely new market and you're not competing with what's out there. Does that make sense?
Yep. I'm adding it to my Amazon cart right now too. So Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chan Kim.
That's right.
All right. Yep. I'll include that in the show notes.
Yep. And I think you'll find it fascinating as you build out your own business because it's going to help you create a niche market for yourself, right? And so let's talk about why LinkedIn is a wide open blue ocean and Instagram and Facebook are a shark infested red blood feeding frenzy. Okay. So first and foremost, let's talk about the mindset of the platform. Why do most people use the end user, not business owners? The end users of Facebook and Instagram are using it to numb out, to get their dopamine hit, right? They're checking out. They're not there to look for a job. They're not there to look for, professional or personal development, right? When we look at LinkedIn, which is the number one business to business platform, right? And Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this all the time. If you're a business owner and you are not on LinkedIn, you're losing. You're losing. People are on that platform because they are connecting professionally. They're connecting and developing on a personal and professional level and growing their networks because they're looking to network, right? Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. And as your listeners are listening, I want them to think about what is it that you are selling or monetizing and what kind of mindset and end user are you looking to hit and win, right? So let me just get into this for a second. So the second thing I want you to think about is when these platforms are used, what device are they using? With Instagram and Facebook, the number one device is the phone. So what do we know about the phone? They're multitasking. They're sitting in a car. they're in an elevator, they're sitting on the toilet, right? They're cooking, they're watching Netflix, but they're not thinking about networking and improving themselves professionally, personally. They're not looking for a career. They're not like focused on business, right? The number one device for LinkedIn is the computer. So what does that mean? They're less likely to be multitasking. Their mindset is focused on business development, connecting. I can tell you from my own experience with my own clients that they have, one of them very recently said, I cannot believe it. For a year now, I've been reaching out to someone on Instagram that I know personally about this business opportunity. I've posted about it on Instagram and they never responded to me. And the moment I refurbished my profile on LinkedIn and really stepped into my power with my e-commerce business, they reached out to me. And my point with you here is that a lot of users of LinkedIn have Instagram and Facebook pages, but their mindset is different on the different platforms. And they're quite frankly doing different things during the day when they're on the different platforms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, total.
So like for your network marketers who are listening, these are people who are feverishly looking to network because they're looking for a better job. They're looking for a better option. They're looking to grow their connections for the what if next year, right? These are the people you want to be networking with. If you're a high end or a life coach or a business coach or a mindset coach, again, this is a platform where people are radically thinking about doing things differently. So that's another thing. The other thing is the algorithms. Okay. So you're a bit younger than me, but I made my first 6 figures on Facebook before algorithms were a thing. Like there was organic views 7-8 years ago that you can't compete with today. And on LinkedIn, the organic view is phenomenal, right? It's absolutely phenomenal. And the other thing I want to talk about is purchasing power. So the average income on LinkedIn is over $100,000 a year. And the average income for the user of Instagram and Facebook is around 22,000. And that's because there's a much wider range of demographic, right? But I have clients who have really high ticket products and we're coaching them to strategically recruit and find clients on LinkedIn without paying for Facebook ads. Because this is where your potential clients are hanging out and they're active, right? And they're thinking about investing. They're thinking about professional development. So it's knowing where your audience is and what they're thinking. And the last thing I will say on this is also, just recently, anyone can apply to go live on LinkedIn. And most people don't know this. And this is another thing. I quote Gary Vee a lot because he's a huge LinkedIn connoisseur. But, he says you can either be the best at mature platforms, which would be like Instagram and Facebook, or you can be the first to a platform that's growing. And my friends, if you're listening to this today, your first action item is to go apply to go live on LinkedIn. You're not going to get in with your first application. Usually it takes 2 applications. And it may take a couple weeks or months, but once you're in, the organic view rate is through the roof. And your impact and engagement is so significant in raw organic reach, like the Facebook of a decade ago, right? And so if you're not playing on that platform, you should be. And then the last thing I'll say on this is once you've applied for LinkedIn Live, for your business owners out there, I want them to go look at their profiles. And I want you to ask yourself, how am I representing myself? Okay. Am I representing myself like an employee? Or am I representing myself like a recruiter or an online business owner? A lot of people make the mistake of showboating their accolades instead of actually speaking to their value proposition that they can offer other people, right? So like I have a doctorate in pharmacy. I've worked in corporate America, all the things. I could look like an employee on that platform like most people and have my PharmD and like my professional career background. But people on LinkedIn you have 2 to 3 seconds to catch their attention. And if you're not speaking to what you can do for them, you've lost them. So you really want to lead in your headline with what you have to offer them. And you want to do the same thing in your summary. You don't want to waste that real estate showboating, podcaster, author, keynote speaker. That's what everybody else is doing. And it doesn't attract anyone towards you. What is it that you can do to be a solution to that person's problem, whether it's financial, whether it's mindset, whether it's physical, right? You name it. So those would be my tips and tricks on LinkedIn.
Oh, so good. There's so many good nuggets. And I had no idea about the going live piece. So at the time of recording, it's October 14th. So this is like brand new as of a few weeks ago. How cutting edge is this?
You've been able to apply to go live for about 2 years. But no one but big people were approved up until a couple of months ago, really till the thick of COVID. And now all of a sudden they're letting people in. And what I will say to this is with the dark 30 of Facebook and Instagram the other day when they went completely black, and a lot of online entrepreneurs who heavily depend on those platforms freaked the F out. We were humming along, communicating with our clients over on LinkedIn. And you always want to have more than one way to access your network. Not to mention, you need to know where they're hanging out and where they're active, right? And so having the organic reach on LinkedIn, having the ability to really stick out going live, but also this platform didn't shut down when Facebook and Instagram did. And knowing it's the number one trustworthy social media platform, there's a lot of people exiting Facebook right now because of a lot of the political shit that's been happening over the past year and a half. So if you're depending on one social platform or even two, you're in trouble, which is one of the reasons in our mastermind, we really coach to the email sequence, your email list, and your text opt-in for text so that you can stay connected to your network no matter whether media goes down or not, specifically the other ones,
Yeah. Oh, that's so brilliant. Yeah. The more people I'm talking to in the entrepreneur space, the more I am finding that people like me are only using Facebook for the ads or for their business page so that they can, do auto posting and all of that, or groups that they're in. So yeah, I think branching out is quite wise advice that should be heeded by anyone who's listening to this.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say, the last thing I'll say on this is we call it the global trifecta. There's 3 things going on right now that have boosted significant use of LinkedIn. And the first is disruption. Okay. In February prior to COVID, we had the lowest unemployment rate since the last recession. Okay. However, 70% of people disliked their job. So what we know pre-COVID is that the majority of people were employed, but they didn't like their jobs. And then COVID hit, and we're still in the midst of a lot of different working options for people to work, people being forced into, let's say, vaccination, and they don't want to be, and they're looking for different work options. They've been home for a while and they can't imagine, they've seen the sweet life and they don't want to go back to an office. There's a million reasons that the user number on the platform is through the roof because people are looking for choice. People are looking for options. And so that's the first piece of the trifecta. Disruption, people rethink everything. The second piece of the trifecta is that we have the societal openness of a gig economy. Who do you know that doesn't have something going on as a side gig, right? And then the third thing you have going on is the B2B social platform. Can you imagine if the B2B social platform was around in the last recessions where people could connect and look for opportunity? So if you're I'll land on this. Most recent economic studies showed in World Economics that there's some parts of the economy are tanking and others are booming. The ones that are tanking are more the service-based goods, like face-to-face. The numbers are down significantly. Where we're seeing a huge rise is in online entrepreneurship. The economy is booming. You and I are a classic example of thriving in it, right? Okay. And so in this microcosm of this global trifecta, we have a massive opportunity between disruption, a B2B platform that's for social media, talking business, and societal openness to the gig economy. You've never had a better opportunity to talk to people about an online business opportunity ever.
It's the perfect storm.
Totally.
Well, you're really motivating me to go beef up my LinkedIn. I've kind of fallen off and now I'm getting into TikTok and all this, but I think I need to think I need to come back and reprioritize like LinkedIn. So this was great. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up too, tell people how they can find you, connect with you, and I will include links in the show notes as well.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, anybody who just wants like some quick action items to take with LinkedIn, I do have a LinkedIn checklist, like income producing activities you can do on LinkedIn to drive leads, drive results. And if you just go to my website, www.livethefreelife.co, you can opt into the checklist. I would say use that list a couple times a week. And if you get consistent with it, you'll start to get some phenomenal leads on the platform.
Oh, that's a great takeaway. Well, thank you so much for doing 2 episodes with us. This was wonderful. And Absolutely. I cannot wait to keep in touch and just see all the wonderful things that you keep doing.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. If today's episode added value to your life in some way, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with someone who needs this. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram and hear how the show has inspired you. So tag me or slide into the DMs. Find me at Corporate Dropout Official or Alacia Citro. That's ALESSIACITRO and 2 underscores. Until next time, remember that you're a badass. Stay focused, stay hungry, and dare to drop out.